So today we will be talking about a very special topic, which is commercial properties. And right now with me here is Hui Ying. With so many commercial properties out there, it's hard to know what's truly stable, especially for investors, right? So do stay tuned to this video. Okay, remember to subscribe to my Telegram channel where I'll provide a lot of property updates and even directly DM me via my contacts here. Then today we are actually zooming in directly into HDB Shophouses, a lesser known asset that's quietly gaining traction among the seasoned buyers. So what is actually so attractive about HDB Shophouses for investment?
I think I would say, first of all, scarcity. There are only about 8,500 HDB shophouses island-wide that are privately held out of a total of about 15,500. So in general, there are two types of HDB shophouses. The first one being HDB shophouses with living quarters on the second floor, which can also double up as a residence for tenants operating downstairs, and those that are pure shops, meaning without living quarters. So some of the more popular HDB shophouse options out there would be those without living quarters, as these assets do not incur ABSD, and shops that are closer to the MRT, malls and major eateries like coffee shops and hawker centres, as they tend to enjoy greater footfall.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? HDB actually stopped releasing shophouses with longer tenures for sale, and newer HDB shophouses only have a tenure of about 30 years, while older HDB shophouses have longer balance leases. So what's already out there, that's all you have got. No wonder prices have been climbing steadily for the shophouses with longer balance lease.
Yes, and what's interesting is also the stability of such assets, right? So in today's market, HDB shophouses are actually very defensive and they are non-cyclical in nature, compared to, say, shops along Orchard Road, in Lucky Plaza or even Far East Plaza, which typically rely heavily on footfall from tourists. So because these shops are located near transit hubs, malls and eateries, and also like fair price, cold storage, right, you get high footfall, strong community presence and consistent rental income from tenants who provide basic necessities and services to the residents living in the area. So imagine if you're a landlord of these HDB shophouses and your tenants run businesses that actually serve the needs of the residents living nearby. Your tenants will likely stay for many years, especially if they've already built up a strong consumer base comprising of residents living in the area. So they are less likely to actually move out over a couple of years, and tenant stickiness is always a good thing for landlords in the long run.
Yes, I agree. So it's just like what you're already familiar with, staying example at Hougang area, right? You already know where to get your favorite coffee, your trusted dentist, or even your bakery that makes the best bun. So the switching cost becomes very real, and that's why HDB shophouses in mature estate have such strong tenant retention. But it's not about emotion, it's about convenience. And for investor, this stickiness of the tenant is actually a goal.
So what kind of yields can we expect from HDB shophouses today?
Okay, HDB shophouses have high rental yields like ranging from 4 to 7%. Okay, and which is quite attractive for commercial property in Singapore. In fact, there are some common strategies that investors use to maximize their rental income. Okay, firstly, they can subdivide their ground floor shop layout, okay, into 2 or 3 separate tenants. So imagine you separate it into a bubble tea shop, a hair salon and a hardware store. So as long as the tenant trade and subdivision works are approved by HDB, so it's possible to squeeze more rental income out of one address. Okay, another thing that you can look out into is the positive rental reversion. When a tenancy is ending, it's a good time to actually review the rent and adjust it to the current market rate before the next renewal.
So now that we have covered the attractiveness of HDB shophouses for their stability, scarcity and high rental yield, how do investors actually buy these types of properties? So in general, before buying any commercial property, it is important to check if the seller is GST registered. So if the company holding the asset is GST registered, it is likely that you will want to set up a company. More specifically, we call this an investment holding company, and do a voluntary GST registration. Or you can use your existing operating company to purchase the property so that you can reclaim GST.
So let me dive into the differences between an investment holding company or operating company, because the differences varies based on the loan to value ratio. For operating company, that means used for your own business, okay, you can get even up to 90% LTV. And some can even qualify for additional loans such as a government-backed loans. Because bank sees this as a lower risk because you're occupying it to generate your business income. Okay. Secondly, which is the investment holding company, purely just setting it up for a rental income and for your investment. And the loan to value ratio is only up to maximum 70%. because it's riskier for banks because it doesn't run an active business. They are just collecting the rental income. So for the loan assessment differences, right, for operating company, although it has a longer LTV, right, the bank will look at more details based on the company performance. So they will look at like 2 to 3 years of financials, your P&L cash flow, your bank statements, or even director's NOA, and how your business expansion plan will be like in the next few years. And for investment holding company, they will just focus mainly on your rental income. And how much is the rental yield? And based on a personal guarantor's financials, NOA or payslip, which is equivalent to like a TDSR style evaluation. So to summarize, buying under an operating company gives you better loan terms, but you must be a real active business. But buying under an investment holding company gives flexibility for investors, such as owning multiple shop houses this way, but expect tighter loan conditions. So we hope that this podcast has been useful.
And if you're looking to explore opportunities in a HDB shophouse space, please feel free to reach out to any of us and we'll be happy to walk you through the process.
See you soon.